Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Star Wars Expanded Universe. Now redubbed by Disney, or Lucasfilm, doesn't matter. Legends. My canon. I got a short one for you. I didn't write too many notes. I don't feel like I have as much to say about this as other things. Here's a synopsis, non-spoiler. This takes place after the Hand of Thrawn duology and before New Jedi Order. This book was written after at least episode 1 and 2 had come out, so we get to see certain prequel ideas like the romantic prohibitions that are talked about in the prequels, droidicas, we get to see droidicas, and we get to learn a bit more about the mysterious outbound flight, which has been mentioned in every single one of these Star Wars novels. Hand of Thrawn, I think it was mentioned at least a couple times. It was mentioned a couple times in the Thrawn trilogy, and it's explored more here. Of course, when we go back in time to before the prequels, we'll eventually arrive at the book, you guessed it, Outbound Flight, which kind of fills in all the mysteries that were brought about here in this book. It overall was a good read. It is definitely not one of my favorites of Zahn's. I mean, I haven't read every novel of his, but Star Wars specifically, not my favorite. Thrawn trilogy is still my favorite of his, though I would say this is better than Allegiance and Choices of One, but not better than Hand of Thrawn duology or the Thrawn trilogy. It was a pretty okay read. If you're a Luke and Mara fan, you're going to love this, because you get a lot more Luke and Mara being married, saying I love you, and all that cute stuff. So if you're a Luke and Mara fan, you can't skip out on this. But overall, pretty okay read. But you do get to learn more about Outbound Flight, which will be important for if you're doing this chronologically, then you will already know. But since I didn't have access to Outbound Flight prior, I didn't know anything about it, so I read this first, which is technically how I wanted it to be read, was this, then Outbound Flight. But I'll get to that book way later from now. But yeah, overall, I'd recommend it if you're a Luke and Mara fan, and if you just want to know more about this mysterious Outbound Flight project. We also get to see Baron Fell's kid. We get to see a lot more. We get to learn quite a bit more about the Chiss Society, so yeah, that's definitely something that you want to check out if that is anything that interests you. I'm not going to spoilers. They're very short though, because of the time that this is written. We have references to the prequels. It's like we have droidicas and stuff. Of course, I do want to say that one of the things that's really mentioned in this is that it was never really discussed in the Bantam novels, but we do find out that Luke did indeed. He doesn't know everything about the prequel era Jedi due to the fact that, there's just the archives on past history. A lot of it's been deleted because of the Empire and stuff, so it's hard to know real information from back then. But what he does know for sure is that the Jedi forbade romantic entanglements in that sort of relationship. And I think that was a flaw of the Order at the time. I think the Order was very flawed, had many errors in it, and that was one of the reasons why the dark side was able to take hold. I don't tend to get religious on this channel, but I did mention when I started this whole series that if I felt it was relevant, I would bring it up, and I feel like this is one of those times. The Jedi of the Old Republic, not the Old Republic from KOTOR, I mean the one from the prequels, their philosophy is very Buddhist, in the sense that you got to get rid of attachments. and do all this, and become enlightened, become one with the Force. The issue is, do you understand the story of Buddha? He was a father and abandoned his wife and kid because he sought enlightenment. So he had to get rid of those attachments. But attachments are not inherently bad, it's how you deal with them. And the difference with Christianity, it's not a matter of our works, it's a matter of what someone else did, someone's love for us that redeemed us. The love is what saved us. Now, you don't have to believe in God to get the point of this. Look back at KOTOR, if any of you remember that game. The only way to save Bastila from the dark side is to tell her, I love you. That is the only way. Otherwise you have to kill her. Had Yoda not fed Anakin Skywalker the same crap, the religious dogma, oh, just do this, just do that, you'll be fine. Get rid of all emotions. You're not allowed to have them. You gotta remember, he was a slave for a good portion of his life. And then, he gets the chance to be something more, but he's isolated. He grows up into a teenager, into an adult, and he doesn't know how to control these feelings because he's been told all of his life, don't have them. Let go of them. So when he starts having these struggles, there's no one to help him. Yoda was at the height of his arrogance in the prequels. He's humbled by the time we get to the original trilogy. But in the prequels, he is an arrogant man. But had he sat down and talked to Anakin, helped him through those feelings, helped him understand them, helped guide him, perhaps everything with the Empire would have never happened. Perhaps Palpatine would have been defeated. But instead, everything that occurred because of how flawed the old Jedi used to be. And so, we come to now, where Jedi are getting married, Corn Horn's married, Luke is married, Leia is married. And guess what? They're not turning to the dark side like Anakin did. Because it's all a matter of how you control that, of how you go about that. You can have a deep love, a deep caring for someone, but don't let that become an obsession. Mara can handle herself. Don't let the fear of losing her control you and control your actions, leading you to the dark side. There is a balance. The old Republic Jedi were making everything out of balance by being so consumed by the light that they were blinded by the dark side when it came. They should have been able to see Sidious's plans. They should have been able to see it coming. But they were so blinded by their arrogance, by their pride, by their belief in the light side, that Palpatine was able to succeed and take over. Too much dark side is bad, too much light side is bad, but there's a balance, there's a middle ground. And Luke found it. Luke has Mara, the love of his life. And yet, he's not turning bad. He showed that it's possible to be that way. He shows that what Anakin could have been. But Anakin didn't get the same opportunities that Luke did. And he became one of the greatest villains in all fiction history. And he paid the price for it. Anyway, that's my whole tangent. It's probably the longest part of this video. The mystery on the ship throughout the entire book was, I think, very well done, very well paced, and I overall enjoyed it a lot. The survivors of the outbound flight hate Jedi, and the old Republic because of all the corruptness within it.